I don't believe in ghosts, or didn't. Back then, I laughed them off like everyone else. The kind of tales you tell when the power's out, and there's nothing else to do but scare each other. But now I hear him, even when the lights are on, even when I'm not alone, even when I'm asleep. I transferred to a small university in the Visayas. Cheap tuition, decent facilities, and most importantly, far from my family. I needed the distance, fresh start, and all that. The first time I heard the story, it was during a blackout on campus. We were all huddled outside the dorm, mosquito-bitten and bored. "You ever go to the second-floor bathroom alone?" one of my dorm mates asked, almost grinning. "Why?" I said. "Some pervert hiding there." He shook his head. "They say, if you're alone, you'll hear crying. A girl, very faint, just sobbing. They say she killed herself years ago. Bullied, no friends, died alone." Another guy chimed in. "They say if you answer her, if you speak, you'll hear a man's voice reply." "A man?" I asked. "Yeah, but there wasn't a guy involved in the original story. So people think maybe it's her spirit now twisted, or maybe someone else, someone she dragged with her." Everyone laughed, except me, because something about it felt off. Not just scary, wrong. The first time I heard it was during midterms. It was late. I'd stayed behind in the library to cram, and the pressure of caffeine and anxiety sent me hurrying to the nearest CR second floor, College of Liberal Arts. I didn't think. I just pushed open the door and picked the farthest cubicle. Then I heard it. Software. Guttural. Muffled sobs echoing from the next stall. My heart nearly stopped. I froze, pants halfway down, listening. Then I heard it again. A man, crying like his whole world was ending. I bolted out of there so fast I nearly slipped. That night, I had the dream. I was back in the bathroom, but it was older, dirtier. The lights were dim, flickering, graffiti on the tiles, and in the mirror, behind me, stood a boy. Thin, drenched in water, head hung low. Crying, he raised his head, and I saw his face, my face. I woke up screaming. It didn't stop. The crying followed me. I'd hear it in empty hallways, in library corners. Worse, he started showing up in dreams, sometimes in classrooms, sometimes watching me eat, always crying, always alone. And each time, I woke up feeling more drained. It wasn't long before I stopped going out. I felt like I was being watched. I didn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? I barely believed myself. I had to know what this thing wanted. I started digging. Old school newspapers, archived forums, even talked to janitors. Finally, I found her. Clarice DeLuna, B.A. Psych student, graduated high school valedictorian, reportedly withdrawn and strange. She was often alone. Some classmates called her Zombie Girl because she rarely spoke. One semester, she stopped showing up. Rumors said she was taking a break. The truth? She had killed herself in the women's restroom on the second floor. The same floor I kept hearing the crying on. But here's the thing. I never heard a girl crying. Only a man. So I pushed further. One night, I had the worst dream of all. I was in the stall. It was locked. I could hear water running, endlessly, from a sink. And then, someone knocked. 3 times. Then silence. Then a voice. Gentle, broken. "Can I come in?" I didn't answer. I just stayed quiet. Breath caught in my throat. The voice cracked again. "I just don't want to be alone anymore." Then, slowly, the lock began to turn. On its own. That's when I realized he wasn't trying to scare me. He was pleading. This ghost, this crying man, He was trapped, dragged into something that wasn't meant for him. Maybe a classmate. Maybe someone who felt her pain a little too deeply. Someone she pulled with her so she wouldn't have to suffer in solitude. I kept dreaming, more vivid, more painful, until one night, I saw both of them. She stood at the door, pale, distant, watching, and beside her, the man, crying, reaching out. He whispered, "I'm sorry. I should have helped her. I should have said something." And then he vanished. I knew what I had to do. I followed school rumors and found an old half-retired guidance counselor. The name rang a bell. Mr. Castillo. He used to teach psychology years ago. Stern, cold, strict. Now he barely talked. But when I showed him a photo of Clarice, he went pale. "She came to my office," he muttered. 3 times. Told me she was being bullied. Said no one cared. I asked, "Did you help her?" He didn't answer. Then he whispered, "There was this boy. One of the bullies. Called her a freak in front of the whole class." His voice broke. That boy was me. I saw it in his eyes. The guilt had aged him, hollowed him out. And as he said, "I wish I could take it back," the lights flickered. The room got cold, and in the corner mirror, I saw them. Clarice, standing silently behind me, and beside her, the crying man, no longer sobbing, just watching the counselor. Then something strange happened. The ghost stepped forward, placed a hand on Castillo's shoulder, and vanished. I haven't dreamed about him since. The crying stopped, but sometimes, when I walk past the second-floor bathroom, I hear running water, a door creak, a faint, peaceful sigh. He's gone. Maybe he finally found what he was looking for. Closure, a friend, or maybe just forgiveness. You'd think after what happened with Mr. Castillo, that'd be the end of it. Closure, redemption, a ghost finding peace. But the silence didn't last. It came back. Not as crying this time, as humming, software, off-key, a melody like a lullaby, like someone trying to remember what comfort felt like. And then one morning, I woke up with wet footprints trailing from my bedroom door to my bed. I started losing track of time. I'd zone out during lectures, wake up in places I didn't remember walking to, always near bathrooms. I failed 2 quizzes in a row. My friends said I looked sick, but I wasn't sick. I was haunted. One night, I dreamt of her, Clarice. She was standing in the stall now, not him. Hair covering her face, fingers twitching at her sides. She wasn't crying. She wasn't even blinking. She just stared and said, "You forgot me." I woke up gasping. It hit me like a truck. We were so focused on the crying man, we forgot about her. All this time, people feared the sobs, avoided the bathroom, whispered rumors about her, but nobody ever asked what she wanted. And maybe that was the point. Maybe she wasn't the one crying anymore. I went back to the archives, found her student ID photo, eyes red but smiling, like she still had hope back then. Then I dug deeper. Old forums, dead links, cached blogs from the early 2000s, and there it was, a username, Luna Ghost, a post from the year she died. Just one entry. I see people laughing every day. I wonder if they'll notice when I stop showing up. Maybe someone will miss me. I just want one person to understand. I copied the post and printed it out, taped it on the bathroom mirror. The next night, the humming stopped, and in the mirror, she was standing behind me again. Except this time, she wasn't looking at me. She was looking at the message, and she was smiling. I thought it was over, again. But things don't end that clean. Because a week later, a freshman from my department went missing. Last seen, going to the second-floor bathroom, alone. They found his phone in the sink, still recording. Just white noise and faint humming. They never found the body. That's when I realized the crying man wasn't her victim. He was the first person she took with her. The one who got too close. The one who listened. And now, she was looking for another. Not for revenge. Not for closure. For company. Because she still thinks she's alone. Because she still thinks no one will ever understand. I should stop here. But I can't. Because I think she's choosing me next. Because last night, I dreamt I was in her stall, wearing her uniform. And I was crying. And I wasn't me anymore. It's strange what fear can do to you. At first, you run from it. Then you try to understand it. And if it sticks around long enough, you start to feel responsible for it. That's what happened to me. Clarice wasn't done. The crying man had been a warning, a memory. But she was still here. And I was the only one who knew what she really wanted. Not blood, not vengeance, just someone to stay. I stopped sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I was back in that stall, batting in her shoes, crying, humming, writing words on the wall with water, over and over again. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'd wake up with tears on my face, or worse, water dripping from my ears. One night, I woke up and the message was written above my bed, in steam, on my bedroom wall. I couldn't run anymore, so I went back. Not just to the bathroom, but to her stall. Second one from the end. The janitors had sealed it years ago, but I broke the lock with a crowbar. Inside, it was cold, wet, still, and carved into the tiles, faint but real, were scratch marks. Hundreds of them, like someone had been trying to claw their way out. Or maybe trying to be remembered. I sat down in that stall, alone, and for the first time, I answered her. I'm here, I whispered. I'm listening. The light flickered. The air dropped 5 degrees in seconds, and then she appeared. No horror movie shriek, no sudden bang, just sadness. She looked at me. Really looked. Her eyes weren't angry. They were tired, hollow. She was still wearing her uniform, soaked and tattered, hair tangled around her face, and beside her, barely visible now, was the crying man, his head bowed, his body flickering like an old film reel. She turned to him, whispered something, then turned to me. Will you stay? Time stopped. Every instinct in my body screamed no. But I saw the truth in her eyes. She wasn't trying to kill anyone. She was trying to keep someone from leaving. Just one person, one friend, someone who wouldn't laugh or call her names or ignore her in the halls. She didn't know how to let go, because no one ever taught her how. I stood up, stepped forward, and said, I can't stay. I could see her starting to cry again, her hands twitching, like she might reach out, might take me. But I added, you're not alone anymore. He stayed with you. He loved you. That boy. He never stopped crying for you. Her eyes widened. She looked at the crying man. For the first time, he looked back, and then they vanished. The stall door creaked shut behind them. The lights went back to normal. The crying never returned. No more dreams. No more steam on my walls. A month later, the school held a quiet memorial for Clarice de Luna. No big announcement, just a small plaque in the hallway, near the second floor CR. I go there sometimes, just to sit, Not to summon her, just to remember. Because I learned something I didn't expect. Some hauntings don't come from the dead. They come from the way we treat the living. You ever have that feeling where something's behind you? Not something you see, just something wrong. Like the air itself is leaning too close. I felt that every time I passed the second floor CR after what happened. But this night, I didn't pass it. I went in. I left my phone recording in my pocket, just in case. The door creaked louder than usual. It was past midnight. The hallway was dead. Not even the janitors were around. When I stepped inside, I felt it instantly. Heavy, wet, cold. It wasn't just temperature. It was like grief had weight. Like the air didn't want me to breathe. And then I saw them. The stall was open. He was there. The crying man. Just like before. But this time, I saw her too. Standing behind him. Both hands on his shoulders. Her long hair completely hiding her face. They didn't move. They just stood there. A picture, frozen in sadness. And then, he looked at me. Eyes hollow. Mouth trembling. Tears falling soundlessly. She doesn't want to be alone anymore, he whispered. She needs someone to stay. The girl lifted her head, just slightly, and I felt my heart drop. Even with her face still hidden, I felt her gaze pierce through me. I turned to run. The door slammed shut. My flashlight flickered out. The sound of water filled the room. Rising. Fast, the crying man began to sob louder, but it wasn't fear. It was relief, like he'd finally found someone. I pounded on the door, screamed, begged. You don't have to do this. I see you. I know your name. Clarice, please. This isn't the way. Then, for the first time, she spoke. Software. Childlike. You remember me? And the crying stopped. The water drained. The lights flickered back to life. The bathroom was empty. The stall door gently creaked shut. I stumbled out, soaking wet and shaking. My phone was still recording. I didn't check it right away. I didn't sleep. Didn't speak, not until I listened to the recording the next day. Most of it was static. But just before the end, clear as day, I heard two voices. Clarice, I don't feel alone anymore. Crying man. Then let him go. That was a week ago. I haven't seen them since. But I still feel that weight when I pass by. I think they're at peace now. Or at least, not waiting for me anymore. And this is why I'm writing this now. Because maybe someone else needs to remember her. Maybe that's what she really needed all along. Not fear, not pity. Just someone to say, I see you. It's been a month since that night. I still don't go near the second floor bathroom. Not out of fear anymore, but out of respect. I thought it was over. I hoped it was over. Then I heard the rumors. I was walking past the canteen when I overheard two psych majors whispering. You know that new transferee from San Lorenzo? The guy with the glasses? He's always smiling? Yeah, was always smiling. They say he changed. Fast. First week, friendly. Active in group projects. Always laughing. Now, sleepless eyes. Jumpy responses. And someone caught him talking to the wall in the hallway. They thought he was on something. I knew better. I started watching him from a distance. Not in a creepy way. I just had to be sure. And one day, I saw it. He walked right up to the second floor CR. Paused. Then looked around, like someone had called his name, and went in. Alone. He stayed inside for 15 minutes. When he came out, his face was pale. Clothes damp at the bottom, eyes wide, empty, like mine were. back then. That night, I dreamed again. Only once. This time, I wasn't in the bathroom. I was outside, looking in. And there he was, the new guy, sitting in the stall, head in his hands, and Clarice standing behind him, both hands on his shoulders, just like before. Only this time, she turned to me. For the first time, I saw her full face. She didn't look angry. She didn't look sad. She looked content. And she whispered, "I'm not alone anymore." I woke up gasping. Not wet, not cold, just terrified. Not for myself, for him. I tried to warn him. Caught him after class. Told him to stay away from that floor, that CR. He laughed awkwardly. Said he didn't know what I meant. But I saw it in his eyes. He'd already heard her. So I'm writing all of this now. Not just for me. Not just for Clarice. But for him. And maybe for the next one. Because if you ever find yourself on the second floor of a university building in the Philippines, and you hear someone crying behind a bathroom stall, don't answer. Don't open the door. And whatever you do, don't tell her you're lonely. I started keeping a notebook. Not for school, for him. The new guy. His name's Adrian. Transfer student from San Lorenzo Catholic College. Nursing major. Smart. Polite. The kind of guy people liked immediately. Until he started changing. He stopped joining lunch tables. Became the guy who had to study, even when no one had a test. Stopped laughing at jokes. Started staring at walls. Started flinching when the toilet flushes. One day, I saw him in the library. He was scribbling something furiously in a spiral notebook. I recognized the look on his face. I had that same face. Eyes sunken. Skin pale. Haunted. He left the notebook behind when he rushed out to class. I hesitated. Then I opened it. First page. Nothing but random doodles. Spirals, crosshatches. Second page. She talks to me now. He never wanted to stay. But I understand her. She just wants someone who won't leave. I nearly dropped the notebook. I flipped further. Every page was more frantic than the last. Scrawled handwriting, water damage. And at one point, I saw myself crying in the mirror. She was brushing my hair. Why does it feel like she knows me? He was slipping. Fast. And this time, I wasn't the target. So why couldn't I let it go? I tried to confront him. Told him I went through it too. Told him she's dangerous. Told him this was a haunting. He looked at me like I was the crazy one. Then he leaned in. "You don't get it," he said. "She chose me. You ran. I won't." That was the last real conversation we had. A week later, he stopped coming to class. Another week, he unenrolled. No one could reach him. They said his parents pulled him out for mental health reasons, but I don't think he ever left campus. Not really. I still dream about him. Sitting in the stall, crying, and this time, I'm the one peeking through the door. But it's his face now, his body trembling. Clarice's hands on his shoulders. Sometimes she turns to me and smiles, like she knows I'm watching. Like this is what she wanted all along. Not one person to stay, but many. I don't know how to stop her. I don't even know if I should. Maybe this is just how some stories end. Not with justice. Not with peace. But with someone new. Sitting in the dark. Crying. I told myself I was done. I deleted the audio recordings. Burned the notebook I kept about Adrian. Even transferred some of my classes off campus. But the truth, I still go back. Every week. Same time. Same day. I walk past the second floor CR, just to see if the stall is closed, just to hear. Nothing. Because even silence feels like proof that it's still real. 3 weeks ago, I passed by and saw something new. A paper charm taped on the door. White paper, red ink, drawn hastily. Filipino sigils, anting, the kind used to seal spirits. It was ripped in half. The stall was open again. A few days later, I started getting DMS from random campus accounts. Screenshots, photos, drawings, all of Adrian. Except in every image, he looked different. Dead behind the eyes. Thin. Wearing a girls' school uniform. In one photo, someone captioned, "He just sat there for hours, talking to someone no one could see." Another message read, "Do you know who this is? He keeps calling himself Clarice." That night, I had the dream again. Except it wasn't Clarice standing behind the crying man. It was Adrian. His face slack, his eyes empty, his arms on the ghost's shoulders. Clarice was gone, and I realized she didn't want a friend. She wanted a vessel. I woke up with my nose bleeding. My room smelled like mildew, and scrawled on the inside of my window, in condensation, "I'm still here." Now I can't tell what's worse, that she's still haunting the bathroom, or that she doesn't need it anymore. I think Adrian's body is just a shell now. Walking campus, attending a few classes, fading into the background. But I swear, when I passed him on the quad yesterday, he looked right at me, smiled, and whispered, "Don't worry, you'll always be the first." I finally broke. I posted the full story online. I titled it, "The Crying Man in the Bathroom. Please don't use this stall." I dumped everything. Clarice, Adrian, the dreams, the recordings, the bathroom. I even uploaded a blurry photo I took of Adrian after he whispered to me last week. But what happened next? That's when the horror really began. The post exploded. Not viral, not trending, just spreading. Quietly, steadily, to the wrong people. I got messages, hundreds of them. I heard a girl crying in my school bathroom too. "Why did the lights go out after I read your story? You shouldn't have shared it. Now she knows my name." One DM had no text, just a video attachment. I watched it. A dim bathroom, shaky hands, muffled breathing. The camera peeked under a stall. Someone was sitting on the toilet, crying, and then a soft whisper, "Stay with me." I deleted the post, every version, even the backups, but it was too late. People kept resharing it, reposting it with different names. Reddit, Twitter, TikTok horror accounts started narrating it. Some changed the ending. Some said it was fiction, but some started dreaming. And then I noticed something. In the comments under every repost of the story, a user kept showing up. No profile picture, no posts, just the name. Luna Ghost, same name as Clarissa's old blog handle from before she died. She would comment things like, "Thank you for remembering me. You didn't stay, but maybe you will. I'm lonely again." I blocked the account, reported it. The comments kept coming. New usernames, same tone, same words, and always under stories about her. Last night, I unplugged my Wi-Fi, shut off my phone, tried to sleep, but I still woke up at 3:16 a.m., and on my mirror, written in steam, "You made me real." So I'm writing this now in a notebook, with no screens nearby, no uploads, no links. If you're reading this, someone must have typed it up and shared it again. But please, don't repost it. Don't share her name. Don't even speak it, because every time you do, she learns how to find you. Days later, we all heard the sirens. It was the middle of the day, third period. Students milling through the hallways. The sound cut through the air like a scream. They said someone was found in the second-floor bathroom again. None of us wanted to believe it, but we knew. By the time I got there, the hallway was already blocked off. Faculty whispering, students crying. One girl was praying in a corner, and then someone said it. "It's Adrian." I felt my stomach drop. They brought him out on a stretcher, covered. But word spreads fast when something's wrong. A janitor, white as a sheet, told someone what he saw, and that someone told someone else. By the end of the day, we all knew. Adrian died sitting on the toilet, back straight, hands resting in his lap. But his face, his mouth was stretched unnaturally wide, like he had screamed something he couldn't take back. His eyes were open, and he was smiling. Not peacefully, not joyfully, but knowingly. Like he understood something. Like he had accepted something the rest of us were too afraid to. The bathroom was sealed, but the rumors kept coming. The janitors said they found something else, written on the wall. Not in ink, not in paint, but in blood. Adrian's blood, scrawled across the bathroom tiles in jagged, shaking letters. "She promised if I come, I'll be the last." And just like that, the crying stopped. Days passed, then weeks. No more reports, no more dreams. The bathroom reopened a month later, clean, bright. Just a normal bathroom again. You could walk in and hear nothing but your own footsteps. Some students still refuse to go in. Others laugh like it was just an old campus myth. But me? I know the truth. Adrian gave himself to her. He didn't run like I did. He didn't fight like I tried to. He surrendered. And in doing so, he ended it. One night, I dreamed of him. He was sitting in the stall, not crying, not screaming, just still. Clarice stood behind him, hands on his shoulders, eyes closed, and for the first time, she was smiling too. I woke up with no fear, just sadness and a strange kind of peace. We left flowers in the hallway. No ceremony, no announcement. Just a quiet moment for a boy who saw her pain and chose to carry it, so no one else had to. The haunting is over, but I'll never forget what I saw, what I survived, what Adrian became. Because long after the crying fades, sometimes when the bathroom is empty, if you listen closely, you'll still hear a faint voice from that last stall. Not her, not him, just a whisper, software, grateful, you're safe now.